It all comes down to this: Villanova and Providence for the Big East tournament title.
Nothing like Championship Saturday at the Mecca, partner. Only one of these teams will be the champion.
And Big East Shootaround starts right now.
Made it through, made it through, made it through. And everything I gave to you, I gave to you, I gave to you. You got it, you got it, you got it. It's coming, 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 coming. So are you ready?
Are you ready? How could you not be after watching that? Jay Alton, John Fanta, setting the stage for you on Big East Shootaround Championship pregame, live from the world's most famous arena. What a showdown we have tonight.
Villanova and Providence, and John, we expected the Wildcats to be here. Even as a 2-seed, you knew Jay Wright and this Villanova team would find a way to get to their, get this, fourth straight Big East tournament final. Providence, on February 10th, today's March 10th, exactly a month ago, they lost 80-63 at home to Tabal. Anything can happen. What Ed Cooley has engineered in this last month to get them to a Big East final, nothing short of magical.
And all Jay Wright has done is taken these Villanova Wildcats to 4 straight Big East tournament title games. Wildcats trying to go for back-to-back tonight. How did they get there? How did the Friars get there? Well, let's take you through. The fastest 2 minutes. We are going to get through all 8 of the first of the 9 games of the Big East tournament. Cue the music and highlights. We start with 2 GOATs.
Mullen and Ewing kick things off Thursday night in the Garden. Electric for the Johnnies. Getting revenge, Justin Simon willing St. John's to a victory over Georgetown.
Defense into offense, and Simon's going to be special next season as well. Andrew Rousey going out with a bang at the Garden. This first-round matchup saw Rousey lead Marquette to the win.
Xavier St. John's, credit the Red Storm. Came out, held tough early, but J.P. McCura, Money McCura, too much. Xavier wins.
Providence, Alpha, the Omega, the Diallo. Diallo coming up huge, then in overtime. Mr. Cartwright in the lane, he got it to go. Kyron, can he stay clutch tonight? We'll see.
Villanova taking on a Marquette team and taking a play out of the Golden Eagles playbook. 3s upon 3s. Villanova making it look easy. Mikal Bridges has been a rock star this tourney.
And then our first taste of some major onions. Kadeen Carrington driving, all the hustle, all the muscle, and the foul.
But then, get me Kamar Baldwin. No, it's the follow. The big cat, Tyler Weidman, wins it for Butler.
Butler's first Big East tournament win in program history. So that takes us to Semifinal Friday. This was fun. Cartwright the slam. Providence on the comeback.
This was the game of the tournament. You think Xavier's won it. Sean O'Mara puts them up 2. No, we're going to overtime. Second day in a row for the Friars, and it's Kyron Cartwright clutch.
Cold-blooded. Friars going back to the Big East Tournament Championship game. And then, oh my goodness, Jay, is this as fast as anyone scored in a game?
Off the tip, 3-pointer, game over. Villanova gets out to a 19-0 lead, and they don't look back. They beat Butler by 19, 87-68. Jay Wright shaking hands with LaVall Jordan on his way to a 4th straight Big East title game.
We take you to our fast break like we do every shoot-around, and we told you the game of this tournament has been that Providence-Xavier game, which led to great post-game reaction. Let's begin with, boom, Ed Cooley.
1, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom. Postseason tournament's about perseverance. It's about playing together. This is the most joyful I've seen our group over the last couple of days. I'm really proud of you guys. Really, really proud of you guys. Just think about this back when everybody thought we were sick, we were injured. We didn't. You know what we are? We're winners. Sure. We're winners. That's character. That's culture. That's, you know what I mean, perseverance. That's an unbelievable win for us. Bottom line, guys, we're going to go get off our feet. We're going to shower up. We'll meet tonight. It's going to be a late night, early morning. But here's the deal. We're still alive.
Wow, that was impressive. As the Friars, they had one reaction, but there was another on the other side.
And take a look at Jalen Brunson in particular. This is Villanova. Remember, they're playing the second game as the buzzer sounds. Stunned. This Villanova team, you expect to play Xavier. How good the Musketeers have been over the last month. But this is the Big East tournament. Upsets are made in this building in March, and Providence comes up with a big one. You see it on the Villanova players' faces.
Providence, a 5 seed in this Big East tournament. We told you that 3 to 6 in this conference, there's not much of a difference. The 2 quarterfinal games, the 3-6, the 4-5 games, were decided by a combined 5 points. And now the Friars find a way into the championship game. It tells you why tomorrow there could be 6, maybe even 7 teams from the Big East into the Big Dance.
As we take a look at our bracket to just recap how we got here, I like that you mentioned those 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 games, because all 4 of those teams, they didn't know what seed they would be headed into the final game of the regular season. So it's incredible that not only were they so close throughout the regular season, it comes down to an overtime game and a last-second bucket for Butler to beat Seton Hall.
Really something here as we set the stage for you. Teams warming up right now. The Garden will be packed. A sellout crowd, over 19,000 expected. This game will be on Fox, but we're starting it off with you right now with our team reporters. And we begin. Marissa Pilla has more on the Villanova Wildcats, who are looking to repeat.
This Villanova team is all about balance. 8 different players scored in their semifinal win on Friday. All 5 of their starters were in double-digit points, and head coach Jay Wright was able to rotate the team so much, no one played more than 30 minutes. I caught up with Eric Paschal and Jalen Brunson after their game, and they talked about the hot start they got off to over Butler and previewed tonight's game against Providence.
Well, we got to start talking about that hot start to the game. 19 unanswered points. From that point on, you guys always had a double-digit lead in this game. How were you able to dictate the game so early?
I guess it just starts with our defense. Our defense gets our offense going, and we get excited playing defense. And we know that Martin and Baldwin could get going early. So that was our key plan, and it worked early in the game.
Looking to tonight, Villanova split the regular season series against Providence, and while both teams are on 3-game unbeaten streaks, Providence is winning those games by about 3.6 points, while Villanova's average margin of victory is 22 points. Villanova's also coming off of one of their best defensive performances of the year. Look for them to put pressure on Providence early and limit their shot opportunities. Nova is 14-0 when keeping their opponents under 70 points. For more on the Friars, here's Megan Caffrey.
Last night, Providence head coach Ed Cooley made what he called a bold move at the half. Freshman guard Makai Ashton Langford got the start in the second as the Friars looked to change the rhythm of the game. Coach Cooley saying they didn't come out playing how they wanted, and he was looking to the freshmen to provide that spark, which Langford did. He finished with 4 points and 3 rebounds, and I talked to senior Rodney Bullock about the importance of not only Langford, but fellow freshman Nate Watson as well. Now, Coach Cooley has emphasized real conversations in team huddles, saying they've been really talkative, and it's not the coaches who are doing most of the talking, it's actually been the players. And he said, well, when your players talk, that's ultimately going to lead to some success. They're looking for that communication today as they look to take down number 2 Villanova.
This Villanova team is all about balance. 8 different players scored in their semifinal win on Friday. All 5 of their starters were in double-digit points, and head coach Jay Wright was able to rotate the team so much, no one played more than 30 minutes. I caught up with Eric Pascal and
to Megan and Marissa for an inside look at Providence and Villanova as we go live to the court. Rodney Bullock, Kyron Cartwright. He's been doing his best Kemba Walker impression. This game less than 20 minutes away from tipping off on Fox, and John Fanta took an inside look with Lisa Byington, who's on the sideline, of how the magic happens inside the truck of Fox.
But if you get a close look here, you know, all of these buttons do something. All of these buttons, when you talk about the director who's calling the camera shots, all of these buttons will actually take you to something different. It will take you to a different camera shot, or it might take you to a different transition. Like if you're gonna do like a cool like dissolve from like one graphic to back to the game or something like that, or you're gonna do like a split screen, you know, you see both coaches on the screen at one time. All of these buttons control something like that, and every technical director has his or her own system. So with the button system, I would be lost, and our broadcast would definitely not be as good if I was that.
How about that? You get an inside look of really what is an incredible piece of machinery to put this production on.
And the full video will be coming soon on YouTube as well as our Big East social platforms. You'll see it on there this upcoming week. We'll have a bunch of stuff for you, by the way. This is not the last shoot-around of the season.
No, we're back tomorrow in our studio that you're used to seeing us from with a selection show. You'll hear from head coaches and players of the teams that'll be going dancing. That's coming to you 9 o'clock. That's going to be a lot of fun.
If you see Jay with a cardboard box and a bunch of XLR cables walking across New York City, make sure you say hello to him.
Ujosh Patel, Brad Zach, our 2 producers, they've got quite the job ahead to break this all down and get ready for our selection show. Oh, and by the way, we're covering a Big East final, which tips off in less than 20 minutes.
We will take a quick timeout on Shootaround, but after that, we've got the man behind the mic for the Big East Championship game, Gus Johnson.
I still get the goosebumps even when I walked in today. We always talk about city swag, just the excitement and the vibe. You can feel it the minute you get off the bus. It's Big East basketball. The energy, the passion that all the coaches and players bring. It's everything. You know, it's the reason why we have the greatest postseason tournament at the greatest arena in all of basketball.
I am now joined by the voice of Big East Hoops for Fox Sports. He'll be calling the championship game tonight, Gus Johnson. And Gus, when you think about this stage, this championship matchup between the Wildcats and the Friars, what do you think?
Oh, man, it's going to be great. I think that, Ed Cooley's team down by 17 yesterday, and they fought and they clawed their way back. I mean, this is Madison Square Garden. This is where Ali Frazier took place. So the spirit of the champion, the spirit of the fighter exists in this building. And I thought that's what you saw yesterday with Providence. And I know that they're taking on a Villanova team that is playing maybe their best basketball of the season, such an unselfish group. This is going to be a street fight, and I'm sure that Ed Cooley's going to try to take Villanova to the gutter.
What makes Villanova that team to beat in the Big East year in and year out?
Coaching. Jay Wright is one of the best in the business. He gets his guys to buy in. He gets them to play unselfishly. And also at the same time, Ashley Howard, Kyle Neptune, those coaches make sure that these guys, you know, understand what the game is about and improve their skill level.
You've been doing these games for Fox Sports now 5 years around the Big East. So you've seen this conference build since reconfiguration. Tell me how you've seen sort of the brand of Big East basketball grow in this 10-team league.
Well, it's different, you know. It's much more intimate, I think, you know. At one time, the Big East had so many teams, it felt like a super conference. But now with only 10 teams, I think these guys get a chance to really get to know each other. And that's why when they come play in this tournament, because they're so familiar with each other, the play is, you know, elevated. And, 5 years has been 5 years of great basketball. And hopefully tonight, we'll have another classic Big East championship game to remember.
Last but not least, to call a game every year, this title game, Fox, on this stage, when you sit in that chair, does it just feel different being at the Garden Big East tournament?
Well, yeah, it definitely always feels different being at the Garden. This is the mecca of basketball. It's the world's most famous arena. It's New York City. It's all the things that you dream about having an opportunity to be a part of. And top it off, it's Big East basketball, so there's a history and a tradition of these teams or this conference being in this building. And, sometimes you got to pinch yourself because this is real.
These two coaches, I feel like I could play for them tonight.
Oh, I tell you what, I give Jay Wright a good 4.5 minutes, but he'd have to give me 6 shots. And I give Ed Cooley 0 defense, but I'd wave the towel on the sideline.
Gus Johnson, thanks so much.
You got it, bud.
Gus Johnson, there's nobody better than him, especially in March, and he'll be on Fox coming up as the Villanova Wildcats walk in.
What a cool feeling to walk in to the Mecca on a championship Saturday. Villanova's made that walk before. They made it a year ago, and they won that final. That was against a Creighton team. This Providence team, they're going to play a real different style, John.
And that is the question now. Let's get to it here. Impact players, your game preview. We will start with you, Mr. Alter. What is your key to the championship game?
I'll tell you this. Providence's success has been in crunch time. Against Villanova, they got to get to crunch time. They were good enough to take a Creighton team and a Xavier team to overtime and win it. It's going to be to make sure Villanova does not smack them in the mouth immediately. The Wildcats just in 4.5 minutes put Butler out of the game on a 19-0 run to start the game. Providence weather the storm early, keep it close, battle tough, and if you can get it to a tie game or a possession behind late in this game, I think they'll find a way.
For the Friars, keep Villanova under 10 threes. That is really hard to do, but they have to make it a muck it up, a physical type of battle. You got to make it a game in the 60s, maybe low 70s. Give yourself a chance with 5 minutes left because you have done that in the first 2 games, and you have found a way because you have a guy who can steer the ship. And what have we said? Through the ups, through the downs, what does Providence have? They've got a senior class that is led by a point guard. And these two teams have 2 southpaw point guards that lead them respectively.
Here's the difference yes, Kyron Cartwright has been unbelievable the last 2 days. Jalen Brunson has been unbelievable for the last 3 years. He's the National Player of the Year in my estimation. It is a nightmare for this Providence team to match up against the Villanova team that doesn't make many mistakes because Providence, they thrive off getting it into a brawl-type atmosphere and forcing you to make mistakes. We saw Xavier make mistakes that we haven't seen all year, and that is a credit to Providence in the way they play. Villanova, a little easier to fool.
So let's look at this for a moment, folks. Brunson, Cartwright. So you think that they could negate each other. Spellman and the way that Nate Watson played could negate each other. So then where does this get decided? You got Diallo as well as Isaiah Jackson on one side. You got Pascal and Mikal Bridges, who's playing like an NBA player on the other. You keep saying it. Jalen Lindsey, as you hear the cheerleaders, Lindsey's got to turn it on because on the other side, Phil Booth and Dante DiVincenzo are a really dangerous tandem as well.
That's really what it's going to come down to. Who has the more depth in this game? Villanova's proven it. Dante DiVincenzo, Colin Gillespie's come in and given them impact minutes at a position that we didn't think Villanova would get much out of. I'll say this about Providence, and you've kind of been ribbing me about Jalen Lindsey because I picked him as my X factor about 2-3 times this week.
But he's important.
Exactly. Providence you're not going to beat Villanova if you don't make threes. Fact. That is a fact.
And you got to hold them down. That's the thing. People always say, well, you got to limit the Nova threes. Yeah, but sometimes they're going to hit them. You got to find your own sharpshooter.
You got to answer back. And Jalen Lindsey is still the sharpshooter on this Providence team, the most consistent three-point threat. And you know what? Rodney Bullock can step out and make some shots. I think the senior Rodney Bullock could step up and have a really big game.
Coaching battle.
Oh, one of the best. Ed Cooley, Jay Wright. We showed you the Ed Cooley soundbite after last night. I'm ready to suit up and play small forward for him. It's incredible what he's done with this Friars team, not only this season, the last 5 seasons, but this run, these couple of days at MSG in particular, special.
Let's get one thing straight here before the game tips off. And in no way do you want to try to take away the drama, but facts are facts. If the Villanova Wildcats play the way they have in this tournament, and they have absolutely dominated, I mean, to be up 19-0 on Butler, if they play the way they have, they are not only going to hoist a Big East tournament title trophy tonight, they are going to hoist a national championship trophy in April in San Antonio.
He's not wrong. They're a lock for a 1 seed. Winner loses game. Mikal Bridges is playing like an NBA player. They have the National Player of the Year in Jalen Brunson. The depth is there with DiVincenzo and Pascal. It really will come. You're right. If Villanova plays their best game, unfortunately, there's nothing Providence can do. But what Providence can do is prevent Villanova from playing their best game. And Jay Wright said it post-game. I expect a Big East old-school, old-fashioned brawl that so many Big East tournament championship games went that way, and I think we could have another low-scoring, tough, gritty game.
Fox, get there right now. This is what it is all about, folks. We have been covering you all week. We've got you covered with tons of team reporters to thank. Matt Schumacher, Megan Caffrey, Marissa Pilla, Kim Adams, Kaylee Griffin.
John, you say all week, but we launched Shootaround in August. We were on the golf course with Jay Wright as our first ever Shootaround segment. And for it to come all the way here to a championship Saturday at the Garden, we're doing Shootaround live about 5 minutes before tip-off. Really cool, really special. I've enjoyed the ride with you, partner.
Absolutely, folks. It's been a lot of fun with you, and we're not done yet. We would really like to be live with you from the Riverwalk in San Antonio outside the Alamo Dome, because this conference is capable of sending not just one but potentially multiple teams to the Final Four. It's the best it's been since reconfiguration. The brand of basketball played in this league, it's kind of got this Wild West NBA-type feel with all the offense that we've seen. And I will tell you what, this conference has questions to answer with some teams next year, but that's a credit. That's a credit. It'll still be a very good conference next year. It's a credit to the seniors that are playing in this league right now. We have seen stars upon stars.
And still an opportunity on the biggest stage in the world. Kyron Cartwright, Rodney Bullock, 2 seniors to make a lasting impact and cut down the nets against Villanova. What a finish that would be to this week.
So for our executive producer, Rick Gentile, our producers, Brad Zaku, Josh Patel, of course our commissioner, Val Ackerman, he is Jay Alt. I'm John Fanta. Get to Fox, where Gus Johnson, Jimmy Jackson, as well as Lisa Byington have you covered. We will be with you with interviews on Big East MBB after the game. And join us tomorrow night. You'll get a recap of this game.
Gotta be there.
We got coaches and players coming on from the teams because it's time for hashtag BE Dancing.
We're ready to dance. Will it be 6? Will it be 7? We'll break it all down. More insight from this game coming tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Big East Shoot-Around fans, you guys are the best.
Enjoy the title game. You still got time to pop your popcorn, but the best national anthem singer, Anna Negron, is out there. She's about to crush it. Pop your popcorn, get back on the couch, and watch the show because it's going to be a good one. The championship's on the line. Nova, Providence, next.